Hello and welcome to Flooring Models Kit View Time. Today we've got Ryfield Models' latest release. This is the 1/35th scale King Tiger. This is the Henschel turret version on this. It says standard version. I assume there's two versions coming out with this one. One obviously with full interior, and this one it's just got some of the highlights down into this one. So in the box you can see nice sort of, black and white bit of box art onto this one. Don't see that very often. Kit number for this one is 5125. Does say down in here you've actually got movable torsion bar suspension. We've got quick assembly mirror tracks with it, movable interior set for the artillery. I think it means the gun mantle and all the rest of it moves. And then disassemblable driver's wheel with 4 types of teeth plate. Whatever that is, that one's a new one to me. All right, some of the highlights down on the kit we can see down in here. So again, we've got the assistant gunner or the assistant gunner's sort of bow gun position. Looks nicely detailed down in here. This is obviously what we're talking about with the artillery piece. I assume it means the actual gun itself, the main gun. And then obviously hatches can be open or closed right the way through. So as you can see, standard version, this is what it's talking about. So torsion bar suspension system, i.e. it's workable. And then down in here, we've got link and length tracks down in this one as well. So the box itself, stuffed, as you can see, completely rammed, all separate bagged. I assume that's a jig, which looks very nicely done. It is. All right, we've got a metal barrel. We've got a spring down in here, and we've got a muzzle, which is 3D printed. Nice touch. We've got the actual main hull and then various parts down in here. I've got 2 turrets, but here we go. We've got both of them down there like that. Got the rears, lots of wheels and sprockets, and as you might imagine, all the torsion bar suspension system because it is all workable down in there as well. Tracks, but then it is link and length, so at least you're not going to be there a week. All right, down in there, and again we've got some of the small parts down in here. We've got the rear plate as well. And then loads of polycaps, because obviously it is sort of posable. And then obviously we've got chunker photo etch, which is very nice indeed. And we've got the decals, clear parts. And then as always we have, I'll get it out in here, we've got the instructions and we've got a little call out sheet, which is a bit weird because it's a photocopy. So yeah, a little bit something on that. So starting off as always with the instructions. All right, so Ryfield, if you've never built a Ryfield kit before, they're really nice. They go together very, very well. I've built a couple of theirs now. I've never had a problem with them at all. They look very, very good as well. Usual thing down in here, torsion bar suspension, making sure you've got it the right way round. So again, you've got a nice little numbering system down in here so you can't get them in the wrong place. All right, so very nice with that one down in there. With those ones all in, it says don't glue anything because it is all posable and movable. You're going to be adding all the road wheels down onto here. We've got the sprockets going on. Again, not gluing anything at all. Wow, well, look, we've even got gearing down into this that you're never going to see, but hey ho, it's in there. I wonder if it works. Be interesting because again, no glue on those, I don't think. Again, right the way through. So we've got the idlers and the sprockets down in there like that. Then you're working to the rear. So we've got the rear plate as well with the exhaust coming through. And all your lumps and bumps down the back there, as you might imagine. Exhaust covers going onto those ones as well. Talking about, I assume these ones down in here replacing out some of these with some of the others. So it looks like you can possibly remove some of these bits down in here, and then obviously you're putting on the bolt heads. Looks like the bolt heads are separate. Nice touch. Right the way through with all of those as well. Back plate being fitted to the lower hull. That one's going in there like that. Then obviously down in here, we've got what would be the engine bay. Now this version doesn't have it. I think there's another version out here that does. All right, so this one just got some structural bits going down in there, entities if you like. Bow gun down here at the front as well, nicely detailed right the way through. Again, there's no other interior, so it's a little bit of a why bother. But anyway, you can put it together if you so feel. Then we've got the top plate with it all going down in there. You've got to open up some holes, some various bits and pieces. Got a little bit of photo etch going down on here to attach all the tools and equipment onto this one. A couple of little covers, things like that, and going onto the back. With that done, the upper hull can go with the top plate, so that can all be fitted together. Towing cable, again, photo etch down in here to aid a little bit of detail with all the towing cables being put on. And then lower and upper holes can meet together, and we've got the idler down there at the back. Then it talks about obviously this system, and to get that correct sag, that is where you'll be needing whatever I did with it. Here it is. this. So you've actually got a guide for getting the correct sag down in here. So obviously you're going to be laying all the parts down onto here. The guides will obviously go through there like teeth, and that gives you a nice little guide to how this is going to be right the way through to it. All right, so again, another nice touch with that one all the way through. All right, photo etch, big old photo etch grills being fitted right the way over, and covers down in here as well for the air intakes and radiators. So all of those done very nicely indeed. And then again, you can have hatches open, but you're not going to, because obviously you've got nothing underneath it to show on this particular kit. But if you wanted to, you could do something like that as well. A little bit of bending as well, just to get these to conform to go over. But again, generally very nice upgrade to all of these parts. Side skirts being fitted down onto this one. Then I assume this is the main gun. All right, being fitted down into here. And then over on the other side, you've got the main gun all going together. A nice mix of photo etch as well, really to liven it up. Unfortunately, though, like we said before, there's no other interior detail to this. So again, a little bit pointless exercise on this one all the way through. All right, so again, nice details though, if you wanted to show it. Then, as I said, we have got two. So there's an outer and an inner plate for this one as well. So again, I assume because obviously there's one with a full interior, one without. So you've just got a shell going in there onto that. Front mantle being fitted down onto this one. And then obviously gun being fitted up and in and through. And then, as you might imagine, we've got all the hatches. We've got the guns being fitted to the top. A little bit of photo etching involved with all of this as well to really liven it up and bring it all nice and together. Again, plenty of little, we've got the clamps on the side as well for hanging up obviously spare tracker things. They're all in photo etch. Have fun with that. All right, so all of those being fitted in. We've got a spring for the gun. Okay. Why would you need a spring on the gun? Don't know. It's a workable gun. All right. Anyway, with all of those being put in places, again, we've got a photo etch. It's talking about this being a normal part, but we have got, sorry, a 3D printed barrel on this. It's not mentioning it in here, but there is one. So you haven't got to put this together at all. And then obviously last part is putting the turret down on there like that. Then we have the markings. So we've got one here from an SS Division 502s. Is it Abteilung? From May 1945. Obviously very, very famous. All right, down in here. We've got one down in here from March 1945 as well. And then I think these, 503. So we've got 503. And then obviously we've got 511 as well down in here. As you say, if you know your oil paints, you'll be familiar. All right, very nice indeed. So where do we start? Where should we start? Let's start where the instructions start. Have a look at the turret. Sorry, the hull. Again, yeah, this is going to be one of those ones where this is the speed version, if you like, of this particular build. Because again, all this lumps and bumps down in here would be for fitting it out. But obviously you're not doing that because you've bought the Wise one and you bought this one. All right. Again, nice wooden texture plate on the bottom. That's really nice touch. Again, it's these little touches. This well bead along here as well is really, really nice all the way through. There's this marking down under here. Don't take any notice of that. It's not sink marks or anything else, although these are up on the top. But again, tiny little stamp out positions and all the rest of it. Generally, though, the detail is very, very nice. And again, being a King Tiger, as you might expect, it's quite a large lump. So that gives you an idea of how big this thing's going to be. All right. So again, very nice on that one. And then if we make our way to the top on sprue A, down in here, we've got the upper hull, side skirts and things like that. So again, it's a good old chunk of plastic on this one. So down in here, we've got the side plates going right the way through, looking very, very nice indeed. Good old chunky stuff this. Top plate, I love the gearing. It's got the gearing running all the way around. Again, never going to see it, but hey ho. Again, all the details down in here. So you've got raised details, recessed, right the way through with all of those. The top hull, obviously, you've got the plate going to be coming over the top of it. There's not a lot to see because obviously everything gets handed on, but all the parts beautifully done, nice and crisp. Generally really, really nice. All right. This guy we don't really need to see because there's not honestly a lot to it, because obviously all the detail, but this is the outer part of the actual turret. All right, on the inside this is all the main gun stuff. Again, you know, if you're doing this as a purely a curbside model, shall we say, this is obviously you're not going to be paying too much attention to any of these parts, but it's generally really nice to see them. Good, clean, crisp, sharply molded right the way through. Again, a couple of tones of mantle down in here and various things. Yeah, sharp kit, really, really sharp. Handling it, it feels really sharp and crisp and nice, and that's nice. Good, clean, crisp. All right, so inner turret, I assume. Yeah. Okay, so the actual turret positions and the various parts onto this one. Again, looking very, very nice. And again, you know, various parts, unfortunately, with this one, because it hasn't got, I'm reason why I'm pausing here, and obviously you guys know more than I do, because you might have realised by now, I'm not a tanky person. But is this supposed to be a wood grain effect, these plates on the top here? Have they plated it with wood, or is it supposed to be metal? Purely because the reason I say that, I don't know how well you can see it, but if you catch it in the light, it looks like wood grain. Or is it supposed to be cast? If it's cast, I don't know. Maybe it could get away with being casting. It just looks a little bit too soft. It looks more like wood grain, but I'm guessing it should be cast. Bearing in mind, I've never seen the top of a tiger in real life. I imagine, though, it's probably just metal. So I'm guessing this is supposed to be some type of texture, but the way it looks more like grain rather than a texture of cast metal. But again, I am by no means an armour people. I'm sure you guys are screaming at the screen now telling me all about this, but please write it down in the comments and you can enlighten me. Generally, might be better when it's painted out. Maybe one of those ones, and we do get this a lot in this hobby, where in plastic it looks awful. As soon as you get a bit of primer on it, suddenly everything pops and comes to life. So I'm hopeful that is the case with this one. But generally though, as you can see, good, clean, sharp, crisp, all the way through with all of this. Looks very nice indeed. Okay, some more of the details. Down in here. So again, we've got the end, it's got the side skirts, really good, clean, sharp details down in here on the actual side skirts. Very, very nicely done. Got these end plates, got the forward, it's got that thickness to the armour, looking really, really nice. We've got those exhausts which do have a texture to them, so they do look cast on those. Again, towing cables, things like that up here at the top, all looks very, very nice indeed. Can't fault any of that. It looks really sharp and crisp and nice. Okay, these ones we won't bother getting out, but again, as you can see, this is details, I think, for the inside, but it's just making up technically what is the engine compartment area and a bit of strength for the back box and everything going onto it. All right, so we've also got this one here on D, which again, I won't bother getting out because it's nice and flat. All your tools and equipment and various things, got your towing eyes, shovels, picks, axes, usual bits and pieces, jacks. Very nice as well. Okay. Link and length tracks. So luckily though, we've only got 2 sprues of this. But generally doesn't look too bad at all. Big old tracks on this lump. As you can see, looking very, very nice. And again, using our little guide template here to go on this one. I think it'll work very, very nicely. So we've got 2 of those. And then over on here, we've got 3 identical sprues, which is going to be all your running gear. And all the little tiny parts, multiples of, and as you can see, lots of it. So we've got 3 sprues of this. So we've got your torsion bar suspension, which, again, love it or hate it. Personally, I don't like it at all, but obviously torsion bars here. Then you've got the arms, so you've got to attach these to these. I prefer them when they're molded in one. I think they look stronger. All right. But generally, though, that all looks very, very nice indeed. Good, clean, crisp and sharp, and that's what we like. See all these parts. Sprockets, got the idlers, and obviously we've got the road wheels just down in there as well. So again, very, very nice touch on sprue C. Doesn't stop there, because again, we have got a barrel. So we've got an aluminium barrel. We've got a 3D printed breech at the end there. And then obviously we've got a little bit of wire, and we've got a spring. All right. So the muzzle, obviously it's a really nice 3D printed one. Obviously you're going to go together very nice with the barrel, just like that. So having a nice aluminium turned barrel, obviously you've got the spring, so you can and go for that. Okay, another nice touch is the photo etch. Good chunk of photo etch down in here, as you can probably see. Looks very, very nice indeed. And decals, which, as we know, we've got 552 and 553 down in there as well. Very nice. And then last up, we've obviously just got some, with these, some thingamajigs, some, what you call them, periscopes. Very nice. And obviously you get a bag of polycaps as well. So yeah, and there you have it. Really nice. Again, it's one of these things. Right in front of me, for my sins, I have a King Tiger full interior detail, everything into it. And to be honest with you, it's a long old slog when you're doing it. And at the end of the day, you've got that position of like, how are you going to display it? Now, I displayed mine with the hull, with obviously the top hull off, and then obviously got the turret off, so it's in like 3 stages all off, and then the roof of the turret off to be able to see it all. I still don't think it's probably the best way to display it, but it's the best way to see it all. So in some ways, I'm not actually a fan of full internal detail ones. So this one is actually very, very nice. You can build this one all up, have it there. You've got a beefy looking King Tiger right the way through. Nice touches to this particular one. Very nice that you obviously got the metal barrel. We've got a 3D printed muzzle on the end of that one as well, muzzle brake on there, so that's very nice as well. And some really nice touches with the photo etch and the various bits to it. You're going to end up with a very, very nice King Tiger at the end of the day with this one. The only thing is that casting on the top and on the bottom there, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like casting to me. It maybe that's what it is, but again, it looks more like wood grain, but hopefully by the time you've got a bit of paint onto it, then obviously it'll look okay. If you've done it and you've built it, send me a picture. I'd like to see that one when it's done. You can see it in all its beauty and glory. Anyway, that's it. That's the Ryefield Models 1/35 scale King Tiger Henschel turret.